Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to do a takedown of the Hobart A120 mixer's transmission. This is the diving key transmission. I don't really post a lot of videos, but that's usually because when I go searching for something, it already has a video. And I couldn't find one of the diving key, maybe out there, and I may just not have searched for it right. They all seem to be the rolling key, which is the newer version of the transmission. This particular mixer probably dates back to the 50s or 60s. It doesn't even have the, I think it's a BL that goes after the original model number to tell you which generation of parts it is. It predates those. A few notes: I'm not a Hobart tech or associated with them at all. This advice is worth exactly what you're paying for it. So if you have troubles, you may need to seek out someone more knowledgeable. There's a lot of videos showing the main takedown of the newer versions, as I said. Some things you may note: they usually show putting a screw through here and lifting off the top pretty simply. If you have something that's in the kind of condition this mixer was, where it appears the grease may never have been changed, you're probably going to need something with a little more oomph. In the actual Hobart manual, which they will allow you to get online if you create an account with them, it's pretty useful. They show a two-jawed gear puller going through these two. I don't have one of those, so what I did was I do have a bolt puller with the center bolt going into the center stack, which does have a nice cutout from the old lathe in it. And these are number 12 size screw holes, so they'll work with whatever bolts you have handy in that threading. Originally the bearings would have been in these three locations. There would have been bolts holding them on. Another indication of how old mine is: they all show like snap rings or lock washers. Mine had jam nuts in every location except this one. So again, very old version. Yours may be the same. Those have already been pulled out when I got the cover off. Things that are coming out pretty easy today, I'm going to assure you, involved a lot of grunting and straining before, with all the old grease freezing them together, and me sort of doing it blind because, like I said, I couldn't find this particular one online. I'm going to try and stay out of the light so you can get a good view of things, and we'll go ahead and get started. So first, you'll have gone through and removed the cap like this that holds everything on. One note: don't try and remove this bolt. As you can see, it doesn't actually hold anything in. It's just there to keep the grease moving about inside. So get that out of your way. That'll show you the actual transmission inside. It's a little different than the roller bearing. Everything that's different is on this center stack for the most part. The first thing that you'll be able to remove, this is a washer that also has, you can see, this pin that goes down into this particular hole, and then these two holes go over the diving key itself. I don't know if that's removing grease about or what have you. That may be one function of it. So we can get that out of the way. Now I've taken this down, but I haven't done final cleanup on the parts, so bear with me if they look a little greasy. Next, you can pull off this outer ring. You can see the sort of shark fin shaped cutouts that the diving key would engage with when it needs to rotate this particular ring instead of having it spin on by. Take that out. In most of the other videos that do have the rolling key or rolling bearing type clutch and transmission, they're able to lift this center stack out. That's the big difference here, is we're not going to be able to do that. Instead, the next step that we have to do, you've already should have your transmission shifter out. You can take your entire center stack, moving things gently, and your shifter, your shift yoke, out at the same time. Hopefully you can see that okay when I get it out. Yours will be covered in grease and pretty disgusting, but you can see how the actual shifter, which moves things up and down to engage the teeth of the into the different gears, how that engages. So that just comes off. There will be a fair amount of cleanup into all those nooks and crannies, and then your center section comes out like this. That gives us a few more pieces that we can get to now. First thing that you'll want to do, you can sort of shift this gear in the bottom over out of the way, because we need to pull these two, and this part is pretty similar to the other ones. Now, one thing to note here, there's nothing to stop grease or bits of dirt or whatever getting into the electrical motor. Don't want that to happen. I recommend, as does everyone else, blocking that off. You can pull straight up on these and sort of wiggle them around. This is the worm gear drive. This brownish one is specific to the old A120s and A200s. It's a fiber gear, not brass like the newer ones have. It's your part that's most likely to wear out. It looks like they pretty much for replacement parts come out of the United Kingdom, and thankfully mine's in really great shape, as are the rest of the gears. This shaft does not have a big spring load like that one does, so you can actually pull all these pieces off if yours is pretty loose. So that may be something to note, that if a piece comes off in your hand while you're tearing this down, don't freak out. That's perfectly normal on this shaft. One of my bearings stayed on, one of my bearings didn't, so just be a matter of reaching down to get that other one. Well, I'll get it later because it's not integral to this. The next thing that we can do is we can take our lower gear, which has a brass washer or a brass seal in it. When I first took this apart, I think that the center seal actually came out and left the gear behind. But you can see this one also has the teeth on it for engagement when the transmission is shifted. And underneath that, you'll have another washer, which flat side goes up on that when it's installed. Bottom side fits down into that bearing. So there's your center bearing. And finally, if you're taking it out, this is when you'll have room to take out your hub attachment and clean it up. And there is a thrust washer on the back of this, which may end up getting stuck to the housing. If that happens, no problem. It comes off pretty easily. So once you get this all taken apart, then you could remove your transmission shaft, and if you needed to, you could take off your nut and other attachments that keep the motor in place from this side with the worm gear affixed. And the other thing to note, each of these smaller transmissions or transmission shafts has a set of springs. When you reinstall this, the teeth go up when you put them in the holes like that. Other than that, installation, as the old Haynes manuals always said, is the reverse of removal. If you have questions, like I said, I've taken this apart and put it together, just sort of making sure that I had things going the right way before I do the rest of my teardown, because the whole machine is getting taken apart and painted. Feel free to drop them in the comments, and if I know the answer, I'll say so, and if I don't, I'm not ashamed to say the things that I don't know. So thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful.